Netflix has a shelf at home that it's looking to fill with Oscars. Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 Netflix original movies.
Ti chiamo perché è scomparso un ragazzo, una persona importante, un marchese.
For this list, we're looking at the most critically acclaimed Netflix original films released to date. We're trying to cover a wide variety of films from across different genres, not just the films that got the highest Rotten Tomatoes scores. Films need not have been released exclusively on Netflix to be eligible. As long as they were distributed by Netflix rather than being given a wide release either in the United States or internationally, they will be considered.
You've never been in battle. Do you have a plan?
Just to pray there's no need for us.
Number 20. The Fundamentals of Caring.
You must be Mr. Benjamin. Elsa Conklin.
Hi.
Break out the tissues, folks. Paul Rudd stars as Ben, a newly certified caregiver, and his first client, Trevor, is a handful, to say the least. You see, Trevor has Duchenne muscular dystrophy, which confines him to a wheelchair. But while that situation may seem kinda grim, the banter between him and Ben is hilarious.
Did you arrange these to look like large testicles and a small penis?
Yep.
The pair goes on a road trip, picking up hitchhikers along the way, and checking things off Trevor's to-do list. Brought to you by Rob Burnett, executive producer of Late Show with David Letterman. The Fundamentals of Caring has the perfect blend of drama, comedy, and tragedy, with a dash of hope at the end for good measure. Number 19. Always Be My Maybe. If you're looking to laugh and don't mind comedy that veers into raunchy territory, Ali Wong has got you covered.
Guys, these are supposed to be vegetable dumplings, okay? Not lemongrass testicles. Let's smooth the wrinkles out.
Yes, Chef. San Francisco, you're opening a new restaurant in 2 months, and I need you there by the end of this week.
After 2 comedy specials for Netflix, Wong teamed up with Randall Park to co-write, co-produce, and co-star in this hilarious rom-com.
Do you have any dishes that play with time? The concept of time?
Yes. We have a meat course of venison sous vide. Comes with headphones so you can hear the sound of the exact animal you are about to consume.
The film follows Sasha and Marcus, childhood best friends who, after years of estrangement, are reunited when Sasha returns to San Francisco.
Those women are still so rude and disappointed that neither of us speak Cantonese.
Hello, Lei Hou Ma, Xiu Jie. I learned better service.
The film doesn't throw out the rom-com playbook, but it definitely feels like a fresh spin on the formula. And the chemistry between Wong and Park is fantastic.
Sasha Tran, can I hold your purse for you?
That was the bad version?
Even if you're not a fan of rom-coms, this one should still be considered a must-watch for Keanu Reeves' performance alone. Number 18. Barry.
Barry? Barry, my brother!
Regardless of your political leanings, you'd have trouble denying that President Barack Obama led an interesting life leading up to his presidency. The biopic Barry only shows us a snippet of that by giving us a glimpse of his college years, before he became the self-assured man who would be president.
Every time I open my mouth in class, it's like I'm supposed to speak on behalf of all black people.
He questions his place in the world throughout the film and is a keen observer on how race can distinguish others, while also paying attention to the struggles people endure. While it does not touch on his future presidency, Barry still offers a compelling look into the complex mind of Barack Obama.
Well, I don't see you IDing them. So what's so special about me?
Number 17. I don't feel at home in this world anymore.
Why are you here?
My house got robbed.
Don't let its long title deter you. This comedy crime thriller is dark, wild, and touching in all the right ways. The premise is straightforward enough. A woman finds her home burglarized, and since the police are no help, she decides to find the thieves herself. But where it goes from there is unexpected to say the least.
Put the tiger down!
With realistic, albeit oddball characters at its core, its absurd chain of events keeps you shaking your head. And we mean that in a good way. With tons of thrills to be had and captivating chemistry between leads Melanie Linsky and Elijah Wood. this Netflix release can accurately be described as eccentric.
Sometimes I feel like I'm underneath a whirlpool and like I can't even breathe.
Number 16, High Flying Bird. Not to be confused with Birdman, another great film, though not a Netflix original, High Flying Bird is a 2019 sports drama.
The card's denied. We tried it a few times and called. They said to cut it.
Yeah, I have cash.
Directed by Steven Soderbergh and written by Moonlight screenwriter Terrell Alvin McCraney, the film follows sports agent Ray Burke, who executes a daring and time-sensitive plan to save his job and company during a lockout.
We have not heard from New York. They haven't hit us up. They haven't said anything about the beef, and that's good. It's good because it gives us a minute to recalibrate.
It's a compelling film that approaches the world and business of sports from a unique and insightful angle. And the performances, especially those of Andre Holland and Zazie Beetz, are all to be commended.
What about you?
What about me?
You firing me too?
I don't work for you anymore.
But what makes this film so remarkable is that Soderbergh managed to capture all of the above while shooting on an iPhone.
I think when you lose fun for the game, the passion, that's when everything goes downhill or you just quit.
And that's something you've got to see to believe. Number 15, Private Life. This isn't just one of Netflix's best films. It's arguably among the best films of 2018. It gives us an up-close and personal look at one of the most private and difficult experiences a couple can go through, conceiving a child.
Richard is probably blocked.
Like mentally? Like psychosomatic?
No, not mentally, physically. Like he's just been talking about with the soda machine.
Right, sorry.
Yeah.
Getting pregnant is easy for some, but middle-aged Richard and Rachel are struggling, with no amount of medical assistance seeming to be doing the trick. It puts them in debt and places understandable stress on their marriage.
I thought that we had decided together as a couple that we would definitely draw the line at science fiction.
It's not science fiction, Rach. It's pretty primitive, actually. They do it with farm animals all the time.
When their niece Sadie moves in and offers to be an egg donor, the situation only gets more complicated.
You don't have to give us an answer right now,
totally
seriously.
Cool with it. It's not like I'm doing anything else with my life. I don't even have a job right now. And what could be more rewarding than helping two people I love start a family?
Paul Giamatti and Kathryn Hahn are both in top form, delivering extremely nuanced performances as the would-be parents. The film was released to near universal acclaim and boasts 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. Number 14, The Half of It. The tagline for this coming-of-age dramedy is a different kind of love story. Many films have made the claim, but few have lived up to it quite as well as filmmaker Alice Wu's sophomore effort.
I just need a few words, good ones.
I'm not writing to ask her to some girl. It'd be wrong. A letter is personal. It's supposed to be authentic.
That'd be awesome.
The movie centers on Ellie Chu, a Chinese-American high school student living in the small fictional town of Squamish in the Pacific Northwest. Ellie is a loner who earns extra money by writing papers for her peers.
I know what you said. That's what you say when you love someone.
No, I was just talking. I would never, ever
No, it is. And you don't even care. I mean, I love her, and I can't even...
But when a jock approaches her to write love letters for him, Ellie finds herself drawn into a complicated love triangle, as they both like the same girl.
And your laughter, it's like an ocean of thoughts, like 5 oceans of thoughts, like 5 voices. No, I like you.
The film displays intelligence rarely seen in teen dramas, and takes the audience on an incredibly sweet, if at times heartbreaking journey of self-discovery.
How does that happen?
What?
The kiss.
I kissed her.
How do you know she wants to be kissed?
Number 13, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. When did Netflix become a serious threat to the theater distribution model?
Maybe some of y'all have heard of me. Buster Scruggs, known to some as the San Saba Songbird.
We can't specify an exact point in time, but landing themselves a Coen Brothers film certainly feels indicative of Netflix breaking through.
I'd appreciate it if you'd deposit your weapon in the receptacle by the swinging doors, which concealing of it on your person in the first place was a violation of the rules of this establishment.
This 2018 Western anthology brings together an ensemble cast including Tim Blake Nelson, Liam Neeson, James Franco, and Zoe Kazan. Anthology films are always a risky endeavor. The more stories you tell, the higher the risk of one of them feeling subpar.
Got 2 bullets in it. Ain't for shooting Indians. If I see we're licked, I'm gonna shoot you and then I'm gonna shoot myself, so that's okay. But if you see that I'm done for, well, you're gonna have to do for yourself.
But all 6 of these narratives feel relatively equal, and thanks to the Coen brothers' distinctive style of filmmaking and trademark gallows humor, they all come together as a thematically cohesive film. Number 12, Tallulah.
People suck. They'll disappoint you every time.
With a spectacular Ellen Page performance as the titular Tallulah, or Lou for short. This dark comedy follows a young woman who kidnaps a baby after seeing how neglectful its mother is. What comes next is a roller coaster of emotions. Tallulah begins to care for someone other than herself, and although the hole she digs for herself gets deeper and deeper, she never loses sight of the fact that she thinks she did the right thing.
I think it's better to not be needed.
She needs you.
Even though it's a relatively serious situation, and the film has a way of making us question some of our own life choices, Tallulah still features plenty of lighthearted moments that make this Netflix release a worthwhile watch.
Sir, you want some. You need it. Hydration is important. Looking at your skin, you need it.
Number 11, Hush. It's hard to come up with something original these days, especially when it comes to the horror thriller genre. But Hush did it. How? By featuring a protagonist who's completely deaf and mute. That protagonist is Maddie, and she's being hunted at her remote home by a psycho killer. Doesn't sound like it should last more than a few minutes, especially since it's mostly silent. But Hush is engaging and grittily realistic, thankfully avoiding the horror tropes we're all so sick of by now, but throwing in enough blood and guts to keep fans satisfied. Maddie uses her creativity as a writer to try and survive this cat and mouse fight, and it makes for one tense viewing experience.
I can't run, I can't hide, and we can't wait. You go outside, you're dead.
Number 10, Annihilation. Following the success of screenwriter Alex Garland's directorial debut Ex Machina, fans anxiously awaited his sophomore effort. Thankfully, Annihilation did not disappoint. An adaptation of Jeff Vandermeer's novel by the same name, Annihilation is a surreal and downright stunning sci-fi film with horror elements.
There was something alive inside that man.
No, that was a trick of the light.
It centers on a team of scientists who are tasked with venturing into a quarantined area of land dubbed the Shimmer.
Shimmer is a prism, but it refracts everything.
Once inside, they quickly lose track of time as the anomalies begin to affect them both psychologically and physically. Released theatrically in Canada and the United States, Annihilation was distributed by Netflix internationally and was met with widespread critical acclaim.
One by one, all gone, except you. How do you explain that?
Visually striking, thematically bold, deeply odd, and reluctant to offer up clear answers, this is cerebral sci-fi at its best. Number 9, Da 5 Bloods. You can always tell when you're watching a Spike Lee joint. He makes films his own way.
Bloods is back.
Da 5 Bloods follows a group of Vietnam vets who travel back overseas to recover the body of their fallen friend and some buried treasure. Flashbacks split the film's runtime between past and present, but rather than use different actors to play younger versions of the characters, Spike Lee has his aging cast perform just as they are. This and other experimental elements can make Da 5 Bloods a challenge, but critics praised Lee's direction and the performances, especially Delroy Lindo's, as well as the film's insights on the themes of race and war.
There's enough for everybody.
Da 5 Bloods is a unique war movie that feels surprisingly timely. Number 8, Marriage Story. Netflix and filmmaker Noah Baumbach make for great bedfellows, even when exploring the dissolution of a marriage.
It's not your fault, but like Dad, you make me feel really bad about myself.
Netflix previously distributed Baumbach's 2017 film The Meyerowitz Stories, which features some of Adam Sandler's finest acting, and very nearly made our list. In the end, however, we had to give this spot to Marriage Story.
I'll tell Charlie what's happening, and Cassie, you then hand him the envelope.
Okay.
I just get nervous.
This critically acclaimed family drama moves beyond the superficial depiction of divorce so common in television and film, in order to tackle the subject with compassion.
It was very clearly their deal that they would go back to New York after Nicole finished her show.
I'm not aware of any deal.
I didn't get it in writing.
There's no good partner, bad partner dichotomy. Just two people who care for each other trying to navigate an impossible division.
I wanted to be married. I'd already lost. You didn't love me as much as I loved you.
What does that have to do with LA?
It's a heartfelt, devastating, sweet, honest, and utterly captivating look at an all-too-common shared experience. Number 7. Dolemite Is My Name. Eddie Murphy is one of the most successful and celebrated comedians ever, but over the last couple of decades, he just hasn't felt like the most relevant of actors.
Shit, I ain't that old.
Watch Dolemite Is My Name, however, and you will be feeling just as anxious as the rest of us for Murphy to get back to making even more movies.
Dude, come on, brother. They waiting on Dolemite movie. Let's bring Dolemite to the screen.
In this biographical comedy drama, Murphy plays Rudy Ray Moore, an influential filmmaker and comedian best known for his character, Dolemite.
You're going too fast. No, we need the speed for the puddle splash.
Puddle splash?
This 2019 Netflix original has been heralded as Murphy's best film and performance in many years, and earned him a Golden Globe nomination.
Rudy, there's a certain professional way to go about distributing a film.
And we all know that there's a history of making some art, and the white man come along and steal all the money.
Loud, enthralling, and wildly entertaining, but not without heart. Dolemite does Rudy Ray Moore proud. Number 6. Okja. After making history with his multiple Academy Award wins, filmmaker Bong Joon-ho is certainly on everyone's radar. While you anxiously await his next masterpiece, however, why not go back and check out some of his earlier work?
When the competition reaches its climax, Dr. Johnny will crown the winner at a Magical Animals live telecast right here in New York City.
Before Parasite, Joon-ho made a film called Okja, which isn't half as anxiety-inducing as Parasite, but comes very close in terms of quality. The 2017 action-adventure film tells the story of a young girl and a genetically engineered super pig, Okja, whom she attempts to protect from a multinational conglomerate.
I wanna go home with Okja.
It's the ultimate David and Goliath story, a film that pits the power of friendship against capitalist greed.
I want to buy Okja alive.
The plot may sound absurd, but with Bong Joon-ho at the helm, it's absolutely brilliant and inspiring. Number 5. Beasts of No Nation.
We are just like wild animals now, with no place to be going.
Chronicling the life of a child conscripted into a rebel army in an unnamed African country, Beasts of No Nation documents the trauma he witnesses and inevitably inflicts. And writer-director Cary Fukunaga has given us something genuinely amazing. Visually stimulating with immersive camera work and tight editing, the film brings you right into this third world locale, making it difficult to both look at and look away from the horrors that occur.
All of you that have never been listened to before and have seen your family killed, you now have something that stands for you.
Between the SAG Award-winning Idris Elba performance as a dangerous warlord and the powerful message about the true cost of warfare, Netflix picked a winner when they chose to nab the worldwide distribution rights.
Who wants to fight? Aha! I'm only taking the brave!
Number 4. Uncut Gems. 2019 was obviously a great year for Netflix and comedy icons with uneven filmographies.
KG, huh?
Sadly, like Eddie Murphy, Adam Sandler got no love from the Academy for his role in Uncut Gems, despite it undeniably being one of the best performances of the year.
Why's it got so many colors in it, man? What is this?
That's the thing. They say you can see the whole universe in Noble.
This Netflix co-production follows a New York City jeweler, Howard Ratner, as he essentially makes one bad decision after another, both personally and professionally.
You talking about Gary?
You spoke to Gary about what? About what?
You. About how you're taking my money all over town, placing bets. You know what that does to me?
Howard is addicted to gambling, and as he juggles various debts while taking increasingly risky bets, the entire plot becomes an exercise in secondhand anxiety for the audience. It might not be an easy viewing experience, but Uncut Gems establishes the Safdie brothers as being among the most exciting and original filmmakers currently working.
Oh my God!
Number 3. Mudbound. This historical drama earned 4 nominations at the Academy Awards, but deserved so much more.
I won't be working for them. I'll be working for us.
Set in Mississippi before, during, and after World War II, Mudbound centers on 2 families trying to make a life for themselves in the face of various hardships.
You must be confused as to your whereabouts.
No, sir, I'm not confused at all.
Oh, I think you are, boy.
The film offers a fascinating look at racism and class in the southern United States, while also addressing PTSD, which affects a son from each of the 2 families when the war comes to an end. It may be a period piece, but the themes are tackled in such a way that they feel relevant today.
Penalty for abomination is death.
Pappy?
Rarely has an ensemble cast delivered such universally solid performances, and the beautiful cinematography further elevates this touching story. Boasting 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, it's among Netflix's finest films. Number 2. The Irishman. Of course, a Coen Brothers movie is impressive, but with the release of a Martin Scorsese film in 2019, Netflix became competition for even the biggest studios.
Huh? I can drive him. I can't fix him. You're back in business, kid.
The Irishman was a passion project for the director, who first started thinking about it back in the 1980s. Sure enough, it was worth the wait.
Well, glad to meet you, too, even if it's over the phone. I heard you paint houses.
Yes, sir, I do.
Bringing together Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and Joe Pesci, this good old-fashioned gangster movie is up there with Scorsese's best films. It's compelling, surprisingly funny, the characters all feel incredibly fleshed out, and yes, it's incredibly well shot.
Frank, I had to put you into this thing, or you would never let it happen. And I know you wouldn't.
At nearly 3.5 hours, it's also a real time commitment. This is a crime epic in every sense of the word. It garnered pretty much universal acclaim and numerous award nominations. Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions. The Other Side of the Wind, the lost final film by Orson Welles.
Well, we don't actually know.
What do we know? Jake is just making it up as he goes along.
He's done it before.
Imperial Dreams, John Boyega's ex-con struggles against systemic racism.
Your son was outside alone and cut his arm pretty badly. The police had no idea who to call.
You okay?
Yeah. I hope his being unsupervised isn't normal.
No matter.
The Little Prince, beautifully animated adaptation of the beloved French novella.
Hey, come and play with me.
I cannot play with you. I'm not tamed.
What does that mean?
Tame means to establish ties. To me, you're still nothing more than a little boy.
Spectral, woefully underappreciated original sci-fi action film.
Tiger Team 1, are you seeing this? There's some kind of disturbance here.
Davis, what is that? What are you seeing?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Roma. There are few current directors who deliver more consistently excellent films than Alfonso Cuarón.
Cleo, hay que llevar los 2 trajes del señor a la tintorería. Sí. Pero hoy, por favor, porque tiene que empacar porque se va el viernes.
Sí, señora, yo lo hago.
So, it was naturally a big win for Netflix when they managed to nab the worldwide distribution rights for his 2018 film, especially when it did so well come award season.
Es que creo que estoy en encargo.
Está bien, ¿no?
Leaving behind the magic, dystopian futurism, and misadventures in outer space of Cuarón's previous films, Roma is a small-scale, semi-autobiographical story. It takes place in the Mexican neighborhood of colonial Roma and follows a maid working for a middle-class family. A moving and extremely intimate film about strong women living in a time of turmoil. Roma is, simply put, a masterpiece, both of storytelling and cinematography.
mucho, Cleo.
Cuarón went back to his roots for this project, and it shows.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.